My tax preparer, Arlene, called me on a Tuesday afternoon in March and said, "Before we continue, I need you to explain why you paid $38,000 to a company that does not legally exist." The company was called Evergreen Home Support. I had never heard of it. She asked if I'd received any home care services. I said no. She said that according to my records, I had paid Evergreen Home Support $38,000 over the previous 11 months. The payments went out automatically from my bill payment account in amounts ranging from $2,000 to $4,000 each month. I sat down at my kitchen table and asked her to read every transaction date to me. When she did, I recognized the first payment immediately. It was dated the week after my knee replacement surgery, when I was still sleeping in a recliner and could barely walk to the bathroom. 7 months earlier, my son Kevin and his wife Monica had helped me through the first 2 weeks of recovery. Monica offered to manage my grocery orders and pick up prescriptions while I healed. I gave her limited access to one account. It was the account I used for routine bills. I told her she could pay for medications, groceries, household supplies, and nothing else. She said that was more than enough. I believed her. Arlene asked me for the invoices. I called Monica and told her my tax preparer needed documentation for the payments to Evergreen Home Support. Monica said she would send everything over. She texted me a folder of scanned invoices 2 days later. Each one was printed on plain white paper with the company name at the top and a list of services underneath: personal care assistance, mobility support, medication management, meal preparation. Arlene looked at them and set her pen down. She said the invoices had no tax identification number, no business address, no license number. One invoice claimed 31 separate days of care in February. She searched for the business registration. Evergreen Home Support was not registered with our Secretary of State when the first payments began. The name was registered 4 months later. That later registration did not cover the earlier invoices. The company still had no listing with the state's Department of Health, no website, no business phone number, and no workers' compensation policy. Arlene said the documentation required to support the claimed services was entirely absent. I hung up and did 3 things before I spoke to anyone in my family. First, I went to my bank and removed Monica's access to the account. I changed the login credentials and switched the automatic payments to require my personal approval. Second, I printed every bank statement, every invoice, and every text message Monica had sent me about my care during recovery. I put them in a folder and made 2 copies. Third, I called an attorney who handles elder financial matters. The attorney's name was Diane Okafor. I gave her the folder and she spent 40 minutes reading it. Then she asked me one question. Could I prove that Monica was not present on the dates listed on the invoices? I already had that answer. During 3 of the months that Evergreen billed me for daily care, Monica was out of state. In April, she was visiting her sister in Oregon for 2 weeks. I knew because Kevin mentioned it when he called to check on me. In July, she attended a week-long work conference in Atlanta. I had the emails where Monica and Kevin discussed those trips. I also had my home security system log. My front door camera recorded every entry. After the initial 2-week recovery period, Monica entered my home only 6 times during the following 11 months. Her invoices claimed frequent in-person mobility and personal care visits during that same period. Diane said the evidence was strong enough to support a civil claim and a referral to the county prosecutor's office for possible theft and fraud charges. She advised me not to confront Kevin or Monica alone. She suggested a single meeting, with her present by phone, and a clear outline of what I expected. I invited Kevin and Monica to my house on a Saturday morning. I told them I needed to discuss my finances. Monica arrived with a confident smile. She sat on my couch and crossed her legs and asked what the problem was. I placed the folder on the coffee table. I told them that Arlene had identified $38,000 in payments to a company that was not legally registered when the payments began. I told them the invoices had no tax identification number. I told them that after the first 2 weeks of recovery, Monica had entered my home only 6 times during the following 11 months, while her invoices claimed frequent in-person visits throughout that period. Monica's smile did not disappear. It just stopped reaching her eyes. She said she had provided care to me during my recovery, and that she deserved compensation for the work she had done. She said family members deserved to be paid for their time. She said I was being ungrateful. Kevin looked at the invoices. He looked at me. He looked back at Monica and asked her why there was no tax identification number on any of the paperwork. She told him it was a new business and the number was pending. He asked her why the business was registered after the first invoice. She did not answer. I told them that Diane had already sent a formal repayment demand. I said a civil lawsuit would follow if we could not negotiate a settlement. I said the evidence had been separately referred to the county prosecutor's office. I said the prosecutor alone would decide whether criminal charges were appropriate. Repayment would not prevent that review. Monica said she did not have $38,000. I said that was why a written settlement was the alternative to litigation. I told them Diane had already drafted one. Monthly payments over 4 years, signed and notarized. Monica refused to sign at the meeting. She left without taking the document. Kevin stayed for another 20 minutes. He asked me how long I had known. I told him 2 weeks. He asked why I had not called him immediately. I told him that the evidence involved his wife's company and his wife's access to my account, and I wanted legal guidance before I made any accusation. 4 days later, Monica's attorney contacted Diane. Monica signed a formal civil settlement admitting the disputed amount and agreeing to the repayment schedule. Kevin voluntarily co-signed because some of the money had entered their joint household accounts. The criminal review remained independent and ongoing. The prosecutor's office has not yet announced its decision. My relationship with Kevin is not what it was. He visits once a month now, without Monica. He has not forgiven her, but he has not left her either. He told me he believed her when she said the care was real, and he did not think to ask for proof. He accepted her word because it was easier than checking. That passivity cost me $38,000 and something I cannot name as easily. I no longer give anyone access to my accounts, including family. When I need help, I pay for licensed services through verified providers and I keep every receipt. My accountant reviews my statements every quarter. My attorney reviews my arrangements annually. Monica has not entered my home since that Saturday morning. I do not know what the legal outcome will be. I know only that I protected what I could once I understood what had happened. I want to leave you with one thought. Accepting help from family is reasonable. Handing someone access to your money without verification is not the same thing as accepting help. It is surrendering control, and once control is gone, recovering it takes more courage than most people expect. If someone in your family did this, would repayment be enough, or would the betrayal end the relationship?